First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Ophelie Jacobson.
And I'm Serra Sowers. Thanks for joining us. The city of Gainesville officials anticipate severe weather conditions tonight. Temperatures could dip as low as 45 degrees. St. Francis House and Grace Marketplace provide the city's cold night shelter program services for people in need of a warm place to stay. The shelters open when temperatures are below 45 degrees. The CNS program normally runs from November 1st through March 31st.
For more on this frigid weather, let's check in with Julia Haley in the Weather Center.
Starting off that cooling process with breezes up to 30 miles per hour in north central Florida. Currently seeing 25 miles per hour in Ocala and the Villages, 27 in Daytona, and 21 miles per hour in Jacksonville. Those temperatures currently sitting in the mid 70s and starting to drop very quickly. 74 for Gainesville, 78 Ocala, 84 the Villages, 70 High Springs, and 77 for Jacksonville. Currently outside of our studio, seeing those cloudy skies due to that cold front. We saw some showers earlier as well. 74 degrees outside of our studio with those winds starting to pick up again, starting to see that sunset too, but clouds staying throughout the evening. So our temperatures are going to start in the upper 60s with that chance for showers this evening. And then as those clouds clear up, we are going to see a drop into the 40s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. Well, Gainesville Regional Utilities announced a solar power purchase agreement with Origis Energy for Archer in July 2020. The Archer community pushed back, saying that it was too intrusive into their historic community. Now, Origis Energy and community leaders have reached an agreement. The push for green energy in Gainesville is not a new one. The City Commission adopted a resolution to reach net zero carbon by 2045 and 2018. To achieve this goal, Origis Energy was selected to build a solar farm near historic Archer. The County Commission denied the initial site permit in July of 2021. In June of the next year, the leaders of the historic African American community of Archer reached an agreement on where they would relocate the proposed solar farm. The Gainesville City Commission voted in approval of the revised location selected by the community of Archer. Mayor Harvey Ward said the proposed solar farm would cover nearly all local energy requirements.
What's that, 75, 80% of our need from on a day like this, during the daylight hours, and even a little bit into the evening with the batteries, without burning fossil fuels. That's pretty great.
Origis Energy Chief Commercial and Procurement Officer says Origis is honored to have worked with the Archer Historic African American community to reach an agreement on new parameters for the proposed project location. The Florida Highway Patrol investigates another pedestrian death in Alachua County. The fatal crash happened a few miles southwest of Gainesville in the Kanapaha Prairie area yesterday evening. FHP says it was about an hour after sunset. The victim was a 75-year-old man. He tried to walk across Williston Road, but was hit by a southbound car and pronounced dead at the scene.
This weekend, friends and family will celebrate the life of a former University of Florida football player. Service for 21-year-old Caleb Boateng will take place tomorrow in his hometown of Fort Lauderdale. The funeral mass will be held at 10 a.m. at St. Anthony Catholic Church. A gathering will immediately follow the mass at Urban League of Broward. Boateng's father found him dead last week from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The family asks family and friends to wear their favorite football team's jersey in remembrance of Caleb.
The impact of Caleb's life and death sparked conversations about mental health in sports.
Here in North Central Florida, one school is taking a moment to reflect and address the mental health conversation.
WFT's Camila Pereira spent time at Hawthorne talking with athletes, coaches, and administrators about how they can address the topic.
Yeah, it's a tough topic to address for many, but they were open to have the conversation. I spoke with a female basketball player and a former UF star player and coach, Cornelius Ingram, about the impact mental health has on their teams.
Jazz Jackson is a senior at Hawthorne. She's also an athlete.
You have to get on school on time because this school starts very early, so have to get on school on time. you make sure you do your work in class, because if you don't do your work, these teachers will get to this coaching. You will be running.
The life of a student athlete is heavily consumed.
Kids show up here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time, they don't leave until 5 in the afternoon. So we're spending more time with players, student athletes than parents.
Hawthorne's athletic director Dustin Adkins says they make sure student athletes know they have support.
And really it's just, building those tight-knit bonds with your student athletes so you notice any little or minor changes, because it's sad to say, but in this day and age, any little minor change could result in, major things happening in the future.
Licensed psychologist Dr. Amanda Janner says these changes are not visible like a physical injury.
An x-ray will show you what's wrong versus something's mental health that may be more concealed or even be encouraged to be concealed.
The pressures can get overwhelming.
Especially towards me, like, I'm the senior. I bring the energy to the team. They're like, when I go down, I feel like my team go down, I be trying to boost them up. Like, I know I'm down right now, but like, y'all have to come on so we can win this game. Like when I got hurt Tuesday, I feel like it was just down bad.
That's when she and her teammates have each other's backs the most.
With coaches, they like this. Like, you can talk to them, and it's like talking to like your dad, father, because they know where you're coming from, and like, if you need them, they like one call away, really.
I just try to be really active in their lives and a positive role model, because I know how important it is.
As a former UF football and Philadelphia Eagles player, Cornelius Ingram understands the intensity.
A coach or a teammate might say, "Oh man, you're being soft. Oh man, you're being too emotional." And I don't think a lot of people took it as serious back then. But now it's very important.
High-profile athletes like Simone Biles shed light on their struggles, hoping to help rising stars like Jazz, who was featured in my story. Dr. Janner says being able to speak openly about mental health helps take away some of that stigma and urges people to seek proper resources if they are having trouble coping.
Thanks, Camila.
Coming up on First at 5, a new study about breast cancer may give hope to patients.
We'll tell you about the breakthrough research that could change lives. Stay with us.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. Russia switched its aerial strike tactics to fool Ukraine's air defenses using decoy missiles without explosive warheads and deploying balloons. As NBC's Jay Gray reports, Russia seems to be changing tactics as the war approaches its one-year anniversary in exactly 1 week.
Hey there, as you can see, an overcast, very rainy day here in Warsaw. That has not slowed at all preparations for President Biden's visit here next week. I spoke with the mayor of Warsaw today, said that he is very excited to host the president and very thankful for the support his city and his country has received in hosting so many of the refugees that have made their way from Ukraine and continue to pour into this country. Across the border in Ukraine, there are new reports of stepped-up attacks by Russian forces, including a new tactic in the air, decoy missiles that are used to throw off air defense systems, and more of the rockets are apparently getting in and striking areas where civilians are present, in neighborhoods and shopping centers. That's something we've seen really escalating over the last several weeks as the war picks up its pace as we get closer to a full year of the Russian invasion. It's a situation where the Russians are also apparently at this point using balloons over Kyiv, and those are being used as a distraction as well. This, again, all part of that new strategy from Russian troops. They're no longer just coming in force, but instead a bit more strategic as this war continues. That's the latest from here in Warsaw. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
A new study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found some breast cancer patients may be able to skip radiation therapy after surgery. Researchers say that for women aged 65 and older, bypassing radiation after surgery for small hormone-positive breast cancer tumors does not appear to affect their overall survival rate, provided they receive 5 years of hormone therapy instead. However, skipping radiation may be associated with a higher risk of cancer returning to the same breast. The data found that the overall survival rate was nearly identical for those with radiation therapy and those without it, at just over 80% for both groups. In the U.S., a quarter of all breast cancer diagnoses are in women aged 65 to 74. Tesla announced it is recalling almost 363,000 vehicles due to a software problem that could cause crashes on the road. In a notice to federal regulators, the automaker admits its full self-driving software may heighten the risk of collisions. The document said vehicles in that mode could act unsafely around certain intersections and may miss some speed limit changes. Drivers are supposed to be monitoring closely enough to correct mistakes, but some errors leave very little time to do so before it becomes dangerous. The recall is for all 363,000 cars sold with the current full self-driving feature, which was available for Model S, Model X, Model Y, and Model 3. Well, Julia, I heard there's going to be a really big drop in weather overnight.
Yes, it's going to be extremely chilly as we are dropping about 40 degrees from what we saw earlier today. Seeing that drop, starting to want to bundle up too.
Definitely. I know my sinuses are not going to be happy tomorrow morning when I wake up.
Yes, well, that sudden drop in temperature can definitely do that to your sinuses. For more information on that cold front, stay tuned after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Currently tracking a low pressure system which is bringing snowstorms to the northeastern part of the United States. Now this cold front is also bringing some showers to us here in Gainesville for this evening. Seeing that cold front move eastward throughout our area, bringing showers for around 5 p.m. also around 6 p.m. Those wind gusts are around 30 miles per hour and simmering down just a little bit. 25 miles per hour in Ocala, 20 miles per hour in Palatka, 20 for St. Augustine, and even 25 miles per hour for Tallahassee. Outside of our studio, seeing those clouds as that cold front rolls through. We had some showers earlier. 71 degrees outside with some southwesterly winds. Those temperatures currently starting to drop, starting their descent. 72 here in Gainesville, 78 Ocala, 73 the Villages, and 61 for Live Oak. Now, if you're going to the baseball game this evening, there is that chance for showers for the start of baseball season. It's going to be breezy for sure due to that cold front, and we are cooling for your Saturday. Now, this cold front, as it pushes eastward tonight, we are going to see some scattered showers, but what we're really focused on is this high pressure system, which will give us some sunny skies for our weekend. Now, this high pressure system is also going to bring some showers as those winds move westward toward our area. So Friday night, looking for that 40-degree drop from what we saw earlier today, dropping throughout the 60s into the 50s and then the 40s by tomorrow morning, and then those highs are going to stay in the 60s overall. If you're planning on going to the Daytona 500 for your Sunday, it's going to be the perfect day for that. Partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-70s, and those clouds are rolling in. Now we're seeing the mid and upper 70s all over north central Florida for your Sunday as well. President's Day rising once again into the 70s, sunny skies overall. And take a look at that muggy meter. It's going to be pretty nice, pretty refreshing overall, and even pleasant as we are seeing that dip in conditions due to that cold front, so it's going to feel a little bit more dry outside. So in Gainesville, we have that chance for showers Friday evening, highs in the mid-60s, and it's going to be warming and sunny into Thursday. Here's a look at your 6-day outlook, and we are rising throughout the week, even into possibly the 90s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. It's strawberry season, and with that comes fun festivities for the whole family. Amberbrook Farms will host its second annual Strawberry Festival in Williston. Festivities include live music, face painting, food trucks, and strawberry-themed treats and activities. You can purchase tickets online for $13. It costs $15 at the door. The farm will open from 10 in the morning until 5 in the evening. The festival ends Sunday. A safari park in Florida welcomes an adorable baby chimpanzee. She was born January 28th at Lion Country Safari in West Palm Beach. Her name honors the Tonko Lily Chimpanzee Project, a conservation initiative in Sierra Leone. Lily joins a family of 2 females and 3 males, including a 1-year-old. Lily's birth is rare and significant due to the declining numbers of chimpanzees in the wild. and batter up because Gator softball has been dominating opponents all season.
That's right. WUFT's Julianna Reichenbach will tell us more when we return from our break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Julianna Reichenbach. Gators baseball is back tonight for their first game of the season. Gabby Vitale has more from Condron Ballpark.
Thanks, Juliana. I'm here at Condron Ballpark as the Florida Gators are having their season opener against Charleston Southern. The Gators season last year ended against Oklahoma, where they lost in their own regional, but they have high hopes this year as they are led by two preseason pitchers in Brandon Sproat and Hurston Waldrop. Brandon Sproat will be getting the nod on the mound today, with Hurston Waldrop tomorrow and two-way Jack Haglian on Sunday. Also keep an eye out on Wyatt Langford, who is the potential 1-1 pick in the 23 MLB draft and led the SEC in home runs last year with 26. The first pitch will be today at 7, with tomorrow at 4 o'clock and Sundays at 1 o'clock. Back to you.
Thanks, Gabby. On the other diamond, Gator softball is off and running. Some may say they show no mercy, but lately, all they've done is mercy rule other teams. Like Wednesday, when the Gators beat Jacksonville 11-0 with only 4 innings of offense. The Gators have outscored opponents 65-4 this season and look to continue to dominate as they host the T-Mobile tournament all weekend. Florida begins action against UConn tonight at 6. Meanwhile, Gator men's basketball also comes off a win, but also a big loss. Star forward Colin Castleton will miss the remainder of the season with a broken hand. In the 79-64 win against the Rebels, the Gators blasted lasers from the three-point line, going 10 for 17. Myron Jones scored 5 of those 7 shots and posted a season-high 15 points. But he wasn't the only one to step up. Jason Jatobo played 14 straight minutes, scored 4 points, and perhaps most importantly, stayed out of foul trouble. You can catch the Gators face the Razorbacks tomorrow at 2 p.m. on ESPN2. If you haven't noticed yet, as we toe the line between winter and spring, we've got a ton of Gator sports action this weekend. Number 7 Florida Lacrosse opens its road schedule up against number 1 North Carolina on Saturday. So far, the Gators are 1-0 after crushing number 17 Michigan 17-8 at home last Sunday. Sophomore attacker Emily Pinto scored 4 goals. Now, the Gators go for a statement win against the Tar Heels. 3 of the last 4 meetings between UNC and UF have been decided by 4 goals or less. This match against number 1 starts at noon. You can catch the action on the ACC network. Some area high school basketball teams were in postseason action last night. The Hawthorne Hornets hosted Hilliard. Rebounding and sophomore CJ Ingram, who scored 23 points, led the Hornets to a victory. Also in the Class 1A regional semifinals, Newberry beat Madison County 55-41. Logan McLeod scored 17 points to lead the Panthers. This sets up a rematch. Last Friday in the district championship, the Hornets beat the Panthers 48-47. Meanwhile, the PK Young Blue Wave hosted Florida State University in the Class 3A regional quarterfinals. FSU got off to a 10-0 start, and the Blue Wave couldn't turn the tides. The Seminoles won 57-51. The GHS girls weightlifting squad is sending 5 lifters to the FHSAA state championship. Head coach Steve Bauer expects 2 girls, Gianna Simmons and Rihanna Griffith, to finish in the top 6. I went to practice to learn more about how these girls will empower each other to lift more, and ended up gaining first-hand experience. Tiana Simmons joined the GHS weightlifting team as a sophomore.
What got me started, honestly, is I just wanted to get stronger because I was super small and scrawny, and so I wanted to get stronger.
And she did. She competes in the 154-pound weight class. Simmons boasts a 190 clean and jerk and benches 195.
All of us in here, we empower each other. Doesn't matter what you're lifting, how light you're lifting, how heavy you're lifting, we're still gonna hype you up the same way, as if you were lifting 1,000 pounds.
Giddy up, up, up! Simmons wants to press 200 pounds at the state meet. One thing for sure, she can count on her teammates to cheer her on. Weightlifting head coach Steve Bauer has trained the GHS girls for 20 years. He inspires the message of empowerment.
I've been working with young ladies for so long, I feel that we need to make sure our young women in the world are getting everything they can.
Bauer tells the girls they are really competing against what they are lifting, not their opponents.
With softball, like, yeah, the teams are pretty tight-knit, but it's like the relationship with other teams, you don't really get that. But, like, here, I've made so many friends, like, with people from other teams. Like, it's crazy how many people I've met and have come to be friends with.
The empowerment extends beyond the Hurricanes. Even if it's the opposition, GHS still cheers. Let's go. Thanks, guys. You can catch them at the state meet tomorrow. Back to you.
From sports to Daytona, it's going to be a great weekend for the Daytona 500. That cold front leaving us in the mid-70s. Seeing those partly sunny skies overall with the clouds rolling in for your afternoon and into your evening. Now here in Gainesville for the rest of the week, seeing those cloudy skies right now, but we are seeing the sun return for your Saturday after that 40-degree drop from what we saw today. So highs in the mid-60s for your Saturday, and then starting to rise, seeing that warming trend overall. Sunday, a great day to watch the Daytona 500 sitting in the mid-70s, and then on to Monday, seeing that sun once again for your President's Day. Into the rest of the week, rising into the 80s and even into close to the 90s. Back to you.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and as always, the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
Remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a great night.